Sorry, we're just having a giggle because there's a meltdown happening in our ears from the production side, and it's slightly comical despite poor rendered state.
He's fucking yelling at me.
Hey, it was funny, Wacky. The speed at which the sub happened was impressive. I must give you that. This is like... I think you should just... Don't delete the alert box. Just come on chat and swear and you'll get more subs and it'll all be fine. It'll be like a vicious circle.
Congrats to chat for the level 1 hype train. We're on to the level 2.
Oh, there should be some way to actually let the chat hear what's happening on the other end. I could almost reroute what's happening in my ears back out into the mic.
Look, rendered, just take it as, you know, going towards your next monitor.
Yeah, because you desperately need it. Chat, you're giving us the best time in the world right now. Not for rendered. I think me and Wacky are just in the sweet spot. So thanks for the belly laughs, I'd say at this point.
Mm. Okay,
we are ready.
Sorry, chat. I think the alert box is being deleted.
All right, Forest Floor, Masterlitfam versus RMD, one of my fellow Olympians. Off we go. Oh, not even the alternative Olympia version one. Oh well. Right, let's... I have to find a way to actually get it onto the stream, what we're hearing. Anyways, we're detracting from what's actually happening on screen. We're seeing a lot of shuffling around for placement, and I must say that when playing an Arcane as an Olympia, there is a certain difficulty in finding the range, because you have to be just at a 45-degree angle from Arcane, provided that Arcane isn't doing bears. So sometimes it's quite hard to get in. So I think as RMD gets used to playing Olympia again, we're finding different ways to get in, and Masterlitfam is not making it easy, although that...
Very nice puddle. Right,
yeah, very nice puddle. Quick...
completely out of the view of the cameras, so RMD was not ready for that at all.
No. Oh, goodness, that was a very quick down strong.
Wow, using the little water droplets to kill the crystallizer goes out. I'd love to see that. Of course, I am largely going to be leaving the Olympia analysis to you.
Sure. It is true that RMD does like his Zircon Stray, or otherwise known as side special, but it gets stopped by pretty much almost anything. It's almost as bad as Etherless dash attack in terms of priority. So we'll have to see what RMD actually gets together, because right now Arcane is doing all sorts of numbers onto Olympia, and Olympia's just not being able to keep up with movement alone. It's a range problem.
Masterlitfam's movement this set has been quite immaculate. Just getting around the Olympia, finding these really cheap, strong attacks. Of course, now Olympia's got the crystal parked up on the puddle, so he cannot afford to recover. Actually,
no, that recover would have been just fine, unfortunately, because the puddle being underneath the crystal means that the crystal will be destroyed the minute the puddle activates.
Question is, does Masterlitfam know that? Because I couldn't.
Well, yeah. Or RMD for that matter. Like, is it just applying pressure and just giving them something else to think about? Possibly. I mean, that always counts for something, increasing the mental load on a fellow opponent.
Masterlitfam now kind of getting caught out by some of these crystal zones.
Indeed, that's sort of what I've found a couple of times when playing Masterlitfam. There's a pattern that actually comes in, and those reverse fares are actually quite easy to counter at some point. So we're seeing that the actual scoreboard has been evened out, and the crystals are coming through in favor of RMD. So let's see what happens in this last stock.
Gonna try and fake out the puddle, but not quite really getting a whole lot of it off of it there. Both of them just kind of smacking at each other at this point.
Indeed, but it does seem that the crystal has actually put enough enough pressure on Masterlitfam to actually second guess some of the movement that options that are available to him. Oh, and the third up strong.
Yeah, not gonna go down for a third stock in a row.
No. Well, it seems like in the next game there's going to be certainly some shake-up in the momentum I'm feeling, because RMD was slowly catching on to some of the patterns that we were seeing coming out from Masterlitfam. So let's see what happens. We are going back to
Crystal Oasis.
What's that? Sorry.
This is Forest Floor.
Yep. But it's Olympia's home.
Yeah, Crystal
and
Oasis.
Indeed. And we're seeing some black and white gameplay here. Great use here of a lot of forward tilts by RMD. Forward tilts do actually trade quite well versus a lot of Orcane's approaches. Ooh, just missing it.
A bit of an optimistic up special, but still gonna find his way back to punishing that Orcane, and the next one is gonna take it.
Quite a safe one.
Of course, you don't want to be in the air versus an Orcane either.
No, it feels like more back airs need to be coming out. Ooh, unlucky.
No puddle on stage. Masterlitfam not going to quite have an avenue back in, and now RMD with a nice lead.
Well, at least it's been decreased to one stock, but certainly RMD is forging ahead, and we're not seeing enough punishing for RMD's choices by Masterlitfam. So a lot of those Zircon straights can be easily avoided, especially for an Orcane, and punished by simply jumping. If there's no crystal in the way, Olympia has no way of stopping it. And more on that, like even just throwing down some bubbles on the way while the side special is happening would work wonders for Masterlitfam. So it feels like maybe we're on a moment where we're having a little bit of a download for Masterlitfam. What do you think, Wacky?
Well, I think he's starting to get unfortunately caught by a lot of these, I don't know what you call them, the crystal zones.
Yeah, just call them crystal zones.
Alright, then I will call them the crystal zones. I think he's starting to get caught by a lot of the crystal zones.
Or we could go with the crystal maze, if that was ever at all a famous TV program around here. Because he's certainly having to navigate them, and it's not working.
And we're starting to see a bit more comfort from R&D in knocking this Orcane about.
Monkey time.
So we're actually just going to see the switch entirely. Masterlitfam going for the Hodan instead. What do you think of the matchup spread here for the Olympians?
So, I would say it's still pretty even, and it just depends when you actually decide to engage with the Hodan. You really have to know when, and especially if the Hodan is trying to recover, there is a huge potential for Olympia to keep the Hodan off the stage. But once you're actually in melee range, Hodan does hold quite an advantage in terms of the speed and options of things that Hodan can throw out, and how Hodan can move up and
not
down.
Even really making it into melee range here. You see a lot of these sweats are just slamming him from a distance.
Exactly. Usually the best game plan for me versus a Hodan is you have to get the Hodan off stage as quickly as possible, and that's where you're able to tack on so much damage.
But right now, it's RMD that's being forced off stage, and in a very risky spot right now. These forward airs are coming out one after another.
Very much so.
Yeah, we've got the Gigacopter, we've got the Yoinky Splunky, every single move in the Hodan toolbox coming out strong here.
Indeed, it doesn't seem like this Masterlitfam has any trouble throwing out any of Hodan's signature moves at any moment. Oh, there was almost a dare to pop the crystal field. Forward strong.
Something you love to see is someone with such a good grasp on multiple characters like this.
Just being able to switch it up in the favor of the matchup and the situation that they're actually facing. Good forward tilt there. Certainly feels like RMD is having to actually readjust, because I don't think RMD has had a chance to see the evolved Hodans that have come out recently, while RMD has had a little break recently. So this is certainly a lot of new things to have to deal with.
Indeed, the Hodan tech has been developed rapidly,
as well as the skill of the players playing them, with Fish Game being one of the Hodan players, as well as now Masterlitfam.
And you look at this, RMD struggling to find really any significant ground. Anything he's doing is getting either snuffed out, reversed on him, or just not finding any purchase in the first place.
No, indeed. And I'm starting to feel a little bit responsible, because Masterlitfam and I do play a fair bit, so I may have given him the edge over here, but RMD is no slouch in being able to adapt. So this game has gone handily in Hodan's favor, or Masterlitfam, so we'll have to see what happens.
Big shout outs to my boy Jevil, by the way. Another really good
of course.
on the way up. We saw
who's qualified sweeping.
Yeah, we saw just a couple weeks ago.
Exactly. I still need to play Jevil. Goodness me. Endless Abyss up next. And we're having another Masterlitfam skin change. Color changes for both of them, in fact. Makes it easier on this stage.
Yeah, the monkey clearly on fire by the looks of things.
Molten Donkey Kong, or Sweaty Kong.
But look at them both just holding on to opposite ends of the stage.
Both of them are able to very rapidly close the distance if they really want to, and many times if a Hodan is up in the air doing how did you call it? The tornado? Monkey tornado?
The Giga Tornado. The Gigacopter.
The Gigacopter. It's actually very hard for Olympia to respond on an approaching Gigacopter. But that SD was very unfortunate and quite unexpected, I must say. I didn't actually quite get what happened there. So right now, Masterlitfam having to make up for this mistake. And as you see,
we're seeing a momentum shift back the other way yet again, as RMD looking a lot more comfortable on this more open stage. Not much room for the Hodan to get around these crystal zones.
Very much so. Although it's not impossible. Like it's really just a question of deciding how to fall onto them, because as long as you get on top of the crystal, you usually will have enough time to come down and break it before, unless RMD is really like that, expecting it. There's very much chance for Hodan to break them. Like a down air over there could have served Masterlitfam really well.
And you can see RMD is starting to get a bit more savvy about parrying these sweats as well, which is going to be a huge boon.
Now up special certainly sending him on his way and packing to stock his last stock. There we go. We're using some focus movement to get in at really good angles with some nairs for RMD, and that is what you need in this situation. But again, Gigacopters.
It feels like right now RMD getting his comfort stages is having a really large effect on the matchups here.
Very much so. Although I do believe that Masterlitfam is definitely feeling a lot more comfortable on the Hodan right now.
Definitely. I think
Ooh.
if... Ooh, I don't want to speak too soon.
As Jebel has shown us.
Yeah, they're both trying to find their kill moves here. Both now sitting above 100%. It's gonna get a little dicey. That purple, though, is gonna give RMD a comfortable win.
Very much so. As we've seen from Jebel, it doesn't take long for a Hodan to take you up the screen, possibly not on Endless Abyss, but in most other stages, and up and away to your death. So we just have to see if Masterlitfam can pounce on the occasions that are presented to him by RMD now and again. And we're moving to game 5.
And it looks like Masterlitfam is going to bring out the eyesore monkey skin.
I think I'll call it Jungle Fever today. Or 80s Jungle Fever, because it's basically every color, fluorescent color of the 80s, isn't it?
And he's gonna take his a bit of a taunt there, but it looks like RMD respecting it. Might have been a misinput.
I think RMD is always partial to a little bit of shenanigans, as we've seen on previous qualifiers and other weeklies.
Skin is probably the funniest thing in the game.
Oh, is that a Genesis skin? I didn't know.
I think it was. Yeah.
I imagine it was from that very custom taunt.
RMD misinput, so Masterlitfam just gave a taunt to give RMD a bit of a chance.
I think RMD appreciated it. Good sport from both sides here. Catching him up there, but not going to be quite enough.
Hoping to use the space he's been given, but looking very high on the percent right now. And I did want to ask, since this is now... Charge up Since this is now the Hodan's pick, talking about how comfortable RMD seems on his stage picks, what do you think of the triple one? Because I know that Olympia would love the low top blast summon.
I think both. I actually very much enjoy having those little platforms sticking over the edge, because you can set up a down strong and cover the entire platform while we're having an up special recovery. And if you don't get hit, that's a goodbye on a recovering Hodan. So there are a lot of options.
The Hodan going off, not able to find a way back to stage. Olympia just coming out with these areas to keep
Indeed. And it seems that being comfortable on edge guarding from just going off ledge right now isn't something that RMD is comfortable doing, and it's something that is really important in the matchup, because funnily enough, all the monkey flips and such, they're very much, you can trade pretty much almost anything that Hodan uses, and it's in Olympia's interest to do that. Whereas Hodan has to stick more to doing setups on stage, and Olympia has a lot of choice instead. And we're seeing a ton of crystals. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of these. Like, this crystal placement is so hard for the Hodan to get around.
Very much so.
A measure of safety. And so RMD definitely going to be using these crystals as much as possible to just create some space, keep this monkey out. Look what happens when the monkey gets in.
Yeah, monkey trouble, as they say. Oh, I think we were a bit too eager on those up specials right there, but the fair is going to put a lot of trouble in. And there we go, an up special finally connects.
Yeah. Which puts Masterlitfam down to his last stock of the set.
I'm surprised Masterlitfam hasn't done the signature.
Very quick reversal though, and we are now on last stock each, completely dead even, which is quite the spirit of the set so far. A nice little berry is gonna keep RMD locked down, but now it's Hodan that's off stage once again. And both of them just trying to find this off-stage play to keep the other one out.
Yep, definitely. And oh, there we go. Ooh, very close that one.
Unfortunately, the monkey is large, but he's also susceptible to gravity, and he will go down. That is a heartbreaker, but an incredible set from both of them.
a tumbling, sweaty rock down to the bottom of Trooper Pond. What a heartbreak. Oh goodness, I was on the edge of my seat there for that one, and I did not expect the SD. Well played by both of them, as you said, Wacky.